Hi everybody, Nigel here from Nigel's Modelling Bench again, and before we go any further, please don't forget to hit that like button and give me a subscribe. Right, so today we're going to talk about the Modelcollect 1/72 scale B-52 G engines. So these are the engines that come with the B-52 G kits, all of the early ones, the later ones, everything they do which isn't an H basically comes with these engines. I believe they've got a D on the way, and hopefully they'll not use these engines because they're not correct. So basically this is what you get in the kit. Now I've got a little bit of sprue go on here in that seam, still drying, so I've got to be a little bit careful with that. But basically we've got an engine pod, we've got our pylon, we've got the intakes, got the intake fans, exhaust, and this is just part of the ring. Now on here I've got a piece of blue tack because basically the way this is designed to go is that is supposed to sit in there, but as you can see it just falls through, so, and then that fits in there. So basically I've got this held in with a bit of blue tack just to hold it in place because I don't want to glue it in. You'll see why in a minute. So basically let's talk about the exhaust side first. You can see I've got one of them in there. This is basically the exhaust cone you get in the kit, and there it is fitted, and as you can see it ain't very nice at all. You know, when you look at the pylon, when you put the pylon on, when you put the pylon on, you can see it's, you know, it's a bit basic. It's not very good at all. So the first mod I've done, another one here, is open them out. Okay, so make them larger, so you can see you've got now something which is a lot more accurate looking, and the when the pylon goes on, it looks one hell of a lot better, which I think you'll agree. You know, when you compare that to this one, I think you'll agree this one looks a lot better than that one does. So of course then when you do that, you've got your standard kit exhausts, but they're going to kind of want to fall through, but you could still use them. I can slip them on here on this glue applicator and put that in there to give you an idea. You could still use them. They just look a little bit sort of small. So that's the first mod that I would do. On the front end of the engine, let's get those out of the way. On the front end of the engine with the standard compressor blades in there, the first thing you'll notice is with these intakes, they kind of taper down and they're tiny on the inside. They're absolutely tiny, way too small, and also this shape around here is all wrong. So that needs to be corrected. So I just sort of rounded off and sharpened up. Rounded off and sharpened up. Yeah, what a nudge. So basically that goes in that ring which pushes in the front of that engine, and then this is going to go on the front like that. Okay, so when we look at it like this, you can see you've got these air intakes on the bottom there. I think they're probably auxiliary intakes. They're on the bottom. If we line them up, now I don't know if you can see this, but I don't think that engine's central. It looks like it's more sort of off towards, you know, down here, more towards 4 o'clock. So that's something you need to consider, but you know, unless you actually look straight on at it, you're not really going to see that. But that's absolutely fine. So you can paint your blades up and do a bit of a wash on them and make them stand out. Also, the other thing to do, I think, which is a good modification, is to thin this area here out. That makes that look a lot better. I think you'll agree. It looks a lot better like that than it does with it thick and fat like that. I think also the shape is a little bit wrong. It should be sort of more rounded rather than this sort of triangular shape, but that's something you could do if you really want to go to town. So basically there we go, that's the kit. Okay, that's the kit parts on the pylon. That's what you get. All right, so let's just put that to one side. Okay, so let's bring on the Eduard photo etch. So we've got the Eduard photo etch set here, 72680, and as you can see I've removed one of each of the parts we're going to use. I haven't taken off these rear parts that go on the end of the tail cones because I'm not going to use them until I've got everything painted when I actually do my build. So we've got the parts over here. Now as you can see here from the Eduard instructions, what you're supposed to do is cut the cone off of the fan, okay, and then you basically insert the the cone onto the front of the fan. Now basically what I did, I showed you last time, I sanded the back of it until the cone came off, Okay, so then we've got a cone that we can use, and we attach that to the front of this part here, which is the stator. Okay, so that's basically going to sit on there, all right, like that, and then that is going to go on the back of there. But again, you've got this tiny intake which is shrouding most of it away. You've also got this part here, which is your first compressor blades, and they fit inside there. But just like the original plastic parts, there's nothing to locate them and they just fall out, so you've got to try and get them in there square, and then you bend all the blades up so you get the right form. Now, I haven't done any of that yet because I haven't actually built these engines yet, but I just wanted to, basically this is a kind of a review to show you what this is going to give you. And then so you glue that in, and then you've basically got, looking on the front of your engine, you're basically going to be looking at this on here like so, and then you'll have that pushing down on it. Just move that over slightly, there we go. You'll have that like that in there. So what you're going to see is that with the first stage compressor blades in behind there, but again, I see you've got a tiny hole, it needs to be opened out. So there we go, that's that. When it comes to the back end, what I'm telling you to do is cut some bits of sprue. Basically this is 4mm diameter for those that don't have the kit yet and want to do this. So basically you basically cut some pieces out 4mm long, and then another piece 3mm long, and then you make one into like a tail cone, or like the same as you got here, and the other one is just a straight piece. And you cut them up, and then this is basically going to fall down and sit inside this exhaust cone here, like so. You're going to glue on, it's going to sit in there like that. Then you're going to glue on your tail cone piece, then the straight piece, and then this is your turbine blades will go on like that. And then when you look down inside, let's get this squared up. When you look down inside, you will see that basically there with the cone in the middle. So great improvement for what is basically a very, very simple area of the kit that I think really needs some improvement. But I've gone one step further than that. And there we go. This is what I've done. I've made some resin bits. As you know, this is what I like to do. So I've made up some masters from aluminium or aluminum in the States. And here we go. That's the, no, it's not a phallic symbol. This is the exhaust tail cone part here. And then we've got the intake cone on the front. And then this is that spacer. If you remember, they told you to cut the plastic up here. And then basically they will actually go into the engine as per the Eduard instructions. I've made new tail cones, okay, because the plastic ones, as I say, are a lot smaller, so they don't look right in the back of the engine. So if you remember, I opened these out, and then basically we've got the front part here. Now here's a tail cone that I've actually fitted the Eduard parts to in temporarily. I don't know if you can see in there, it looks great. You can see you've got the ring on the outside there, and then you've got on the back, you've got those turbine blades, and then this will actually drop down into this engine. I'm hoping this doesn't all fall apart on me. I should be able to push this in gently. There we go. I don't want to damage anything because I'm not, as I said, I'm not actually physically building it right now, but I think you'll agree that that looks one hell of a lot better than that. Okay, so we can see we've got the tail cone in there with the Eduard parts and the turbine blades. Then on the front of the engine, rather than have this plastic ring, I thought I'd make up these resin rings. I don't know if you can see it on there, but there is actually a flange. The camera's picking that up. There is actually a flange around there, and it's so thin you can almost see through it. So what that's designed to do is this front piece here, this stator ring, will actually sit in there. Okay, so it gives it a location. So here's one I made earlier. This is something I do. Go around with a black pen, and then when you sand the back of it, you can see if you've gone too far. So basically, I'm just going to drop this. I'm being very careful with everything because it's very lightly glued. Like, so that flange is so thin I've actually broken it off of there. But basically that's going to go in there like that, okay, and sit in that flange. And then we've got these first stage compressor blades. They're going to go in the back, and if you can see in there, there's actually a step for them to sit on, so you're not just having to try and get them square and everything like you do with the kit parts. So we'll just square that up. There we go, that sits in there on that step nicely like that. Okay, and then we can go around and bend all those blades up and everything. So that's sitting there like that. That's going to go on the front like that, and then that's going to go inside the engine there. Okay, so straight now you can see what's happening. And then we've got this one here. I've opened these up with a reamer, make them bigger, and now that's going to go on the front of there like that. So now you can see down in there that we've got a really nice looking engine. Now something I've noticed is, as I say, remember if it was off before 4 o'clock, I need to do some sanding just to move it over slightly because it's slightly off center, because obviously this has been made, you can see on here, these intakes are actually wider than the engine. Okay, so basically the holes are out of position, so we can either sand the holes and get them true up to the engines, or we can just take some material away from the inside the engines and move the whole assembly over. But hopefully you can get the idea there. And I think this Eduard set is really made this look a lot better than the standard kit parts. In fact, if I get this one, I can put this in here. And bear in mind this has got the opened up intake, so it will look slightly better. That's a tight fit in there, that one. Let's just put it like that to give you an idea. There we go. So you can see one side looks a lot better than the other. Okay, so that's just what I want to show you guys. Now what I'll do, I'll put another video up together. Oh, I just wanted to show you one more thing on the back end with the tail cone in and everything. I think you'll agree that that looks so much better than the kit parts. Okay, now if you wanted to, you could pull that out and angle it down slightly. I've seen some that are flush and some that are slightly angled down, or basically you could sand away the plastic and make it look angled. But yeah, very pleased with how that looks. So that's basically the work I've been doing. That's what I've been up to, guys, while I haven't been making videos. So if you, and for those that are interested, there's the masters. You can see there's the tail cone turned in aluminium, and there's the intake there turned in aluminium. And then we've got, here's the masters. I actually used the plastic cone, and the rest is machined aluminium and glued to a piece of plastic rod. So there we are, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Nothing more to say, really. Once I do some building and painting and stuff, I'll show you again. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.